everyone, and welcome to Garden to Kitchen. Today we're going to be looking at our tomatoes on strings. This is part 3 of a 3-part series at the moment, and I'm going to show you the progress that we have on the plants. As you can see, they are growing. The first part series, I showed you how to build a structure, the wooden structure with the raised garden. I showed you how to amend the soil, adding some compost and preparing it for the plants. In the second part, I showed you how to plant the tomato plants, and I showed you how to put in the organic materials to make them really grow. And as you can see, they certainly are growing. You probably noticed that I've added another board on the top, and the reason for that is I want to add some mulch and some compost in there, and I don't want the wind blowing it out. The plants, of course, are these better boy indeterminate plants, and they continue to grow. And of course, with this uniqueness of growing tomatoes on strings, you have to remove the suckers, otherwise the plant gets to be a big bush. And the key is, of course, to grow the tomatoes only on the stem part of the plant. So I've been removing all the suckers. This is what the sucker looks like, and of course when I've taken the sucker out, it's gone. You can't see it anymore. And I'll continue to do that as the plant grows. So what I've noticed with these plants being isolated in this area and growing them on strings and pruning them, removing those suckers, I've found that the stalk of the plant is getting to be really big in comparison to the plants behind the camera, which are identical. That's one thing. The second thing I've noticed is the cluster of flowers. The flowers, there's so many, 10, 12 flowers on each cluster. And I currently have about 3 going on 4 clusters already. And I do have some small tomatoes that are already have formed, and they are growing. In addition, I've noticed that the quality of the leaves are impeccable. There's virtually no insect damage, and I'm not sure why. But there's no insect damage. Of course, I did have some damage to the bottom leaves when they were touching the soil, and I've continually pruning them out, and I eventually want to prune all the bottom leaves right up to the first set of flowers. Remember, this is a vine that will continue to grow, strictly a vine. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, today we're going to be adding some compost. I was out to the Wesley Clover Parks yesterday, and I picked up some horse compost. They have lots of horses there, and they have a lot of compost, and they want to give it away. So if you're living in the Ottawa area, head out there. They got a bin. All you got to do is bring your shovel and a box or something and fill it up and bring it home. It's already decomposed, ready to go for the garden. So I'm going to be adding probably a couple inches at the bottom, and that'll give it some nutrients for the plants to grow right up to the top. And eventually I want to add some straw. Eventually, we're going to be doing that today. I'm going to show you the process. I've got some straw over here. You can see it's a beautiful golden straw color. And I'm going to be adding that to conserve the moisture, because we have a really hot sun. We're facing south, and the soil really depletes of the water. So we want to keep the moisture into the bed, and that will help. I'll put in probably about 6 inches of straw. Now, if you're thinking of doing something like this, remember there's straw and there's hay. Hay is a consumable product for horses and cows and sheep, and of course they eat everything, the flour, the stalk, whereas straw is a byproduct of the flour that's growing on the top, and it's ground up to make bread. So the straw is a byproduct that is non-edible. It's strictly used for domestic bedding for animals, domestic animals, and of course you often see it around Halloween as well for decorative purposes. And of course gardeners use straw as a mulching material, and it works really, really well. And I've used this before on my tomato plants, and when I had 24 or 30 tomato plants and I've laid out a lot of straw, no weeding at all for the rest of the summer. So the plants are doing well. I expect to see some really big tomatoes, and you do too if you follow along here. And if you're trying this at home, you'll be able to watch with me as they grow. That'll be in the next series. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some compost and some straw, and we'll see what it looks like. Just give me a moment. Before I put the compost in, I just wanted to trim off some of the lower leaves because I don't want to keep any leaves that are touching the ground, and nothing's going to grow on these leaves, so no use spending energy to grow leaves that you're not going to grow any tomato plants. So I'm just going to trim some of the lower ones off here, and then we can start spreading some compost. So we've got some leaves here. We're going to toss them, and we're going to add a bit of compost. Oh, look at that. Nice compost, nicely decomposed. And I'm going to be adding that. Just add some over the top here. Look at that. Great stuff. Rich in nitrogen. Now that we have put in the horse compost into the tomato bed, I put about 2 inches, spread it out evenly, and that'll, when the rain comes, and of course when I water it, that will create like a tea that'll seep down into the plants and make them grow right up to the top. I promise you, if you follow along with the next series, we're going to watch these grow up to the top and produce some big tomatoes. So here we have the straw. I'm just going to pop the bale open here and get some of this into the bed. So you can see it comes out like this, and there it is. Beautiful straw, and it smells so nice. And of course, all we're going to do is just put it into the bed. We'll spread it out, and that'll settle down underneath the plants and keep the soil nice and cool. I bought the straw. I bought 3 bales yesterday. I don't know what I'm going to do with 3 bales, but probably 2 bales. I might be able to use 2 bales. I've got quite a few tomato plants on the back side of the camera, and I want to be able to just put this straw in and not worry about weeding or as watering as much, because it will keep the soil moist. Now there we have it. The straw has been placed in. There's about 6 inches. I may add a little bit more and bring it up to the top of the new board. Now you know why I put this new board in, to accommodate the straw. So anyway, it's a great idea to keep your soil nice and cool and moist during these really hot days. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button on the bottom right hand corner if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to send this off to your friends, neighbors, and relatives using your favorite social media, because I'm sure they're interested in growing tomatoes on strings, or at least growing tomatoes. Everybody does that. And if you like it, and please leave a comment. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time in part 4, growing tomatoes on strings. Bye-bye.